Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Bleach 1000-Year Blood War Episode 3. I didn't do a review for last week's episode because I honestly couldn't really think of that much to talk about. I just thought it was really good, and then couldn't really think of anything to really expand upon that. Like the stuff in Hueco Mundo with the TYBW was really good. Like the added stuff's been really good thus far. And that continues to be a trend in this episode. Especially the added content, because there's actually quite a bit in this episode. Not like a ton of new scenes, more so just one extended scene that gets cut up a little bit. And that's Uryu investigating what Ryuken has on the Quincy's, learning about the Vandenreich and Yua. Which is really good. It's really good that they added this because there was none of this in the manga. None of this was in there. Uryu just kind of ends up with the Vandenreich, just out of nowhere. So this new stuff that they're adding is going a long way in fixing a lot of the issues with the plot in the manga version of the arc, where a lot of important things are just kind of glossed over or really weren't addressed at all. There were several plot points that were kind of introduced and then just nothing was ever done with them. I'm hoping, seriously hoping, and I feel like that kind of is what's going on, because we're even getting, being shown Ryuken this early, that we're going to be explaining Still Silver way earlier than we did in the manga. We introduced that like 10 chapters before the series ended, so hopefully... that's like the big plot issue most people have with 1000-Year Blood War. So seems like we're probably going to be setting that up much earlier on, which is great. And something I especially liked with this scene is it's interspliced with the explanation from Zoomer Eisen talking about why the Quincy are a threat to the balance of the three worlds, why the Soul Society decided to wipe out the Quincy's, and how, it's kind of justified on the Quincy's part that they would want to get revenge against Soul Society. I thought that was all really good. There were two things cut out, and there was only one of them that I really cared about at all. Honestly, the more major thing that got cut out was the lieutenant's meeting talking about the disappearance of the Rukon district citizens. I know some people were upset about that because, it's more interaction between the lieutenants, it gives us more reason to give a shit about the characters, does more build up to when the fights actually start. Me personally, I don't care. I don't care about most of the lieutenants. I'm already familiar with them, so I don't need more reason to be familiar with them. And the stuff with the Rukon district citizens is addressed sufficiently just from the conversation between Mayuri and Yamamoto. The one thing I didn't like that was cut was them getting rid of Yua stepping on Soul Society. The two panels of all the Soul Reapers running around down in the streets of Seirete, and then Yua stepping on them like they're ants. That's one of my favorite little sequences from the start of the first invasion. It's a really good piece of symbolism for how the first invasion is going to go, how Yua views Soul Society, how most people compare to Yua power-wise, and I think it was really unfortunate that that got cut out. But other than that, I thought the episode was really good. The animation was on point. The fight thus far between Ichigo and Kirige, who I am going to call Kirige, because you could say the Q-U kind of sounds like a K, and I think Kirige is a cooler name than Quilge or some shit. That's going really good thus far. I really like all the visuals, the animation's great, his Vol standing looks fantastic. I really, really liked the voice modulation they used on Kirige for when he started using Sklavin and Absorbed Ion. I thought that was wonderful. Speaking of, I was under the impression when we got CGI hollows in episode 1 that meant we were getting CGI Ion, because I guess they're just going to do CGI for the Hollows. Shit, they barely appear in the arc, so it's not like it matters that much. But no, I don't know, maybe that was just an episode 1 thing, because Ion's completely 2D. He's hand-drawn, and he looks fantastic. He was great. I was very happy with that. The other really notable thing from the episode is the soundtrack. We get a lot of new covers of classic songs. I think there were 2 I was able to recognize. I know there were quite a few. Like almost every single returning OST from the original series has like a new cover to it. The 2 I recognized were Precipice of Defeat, and then I can't remember the actual name, but it's like the sad violin one that plays in a few songs. I think it plays during like the Rukia backstory. And I thought they were great. They're fantastic. I know some people are really just going to want to have the original soundtracks back, and I understand that because I love the original soundtracks. I imagine we'll still get like the same soundtracks for a few of them. Shit like Treachery, Stand Up Be Strong. I don't think that needs a new cover, but, you know, we have Shiro Sagasu composing it, so even if it's changed, it's still going to be a masterpiece, so I'm not, like, really worried about it at all in the slightest. I thought it was wonderful. The only thing I'm left wondering now that the first invasion has started in full is how much new stuff are they going to be adding? Like, how's that going to be affecting the pacing? Because of the current pacing, shit. We're going to be done with the first invasion in, like, the next 4 episodes, and I expected it to take up, like, most of this first core. So, I'm not entirely sure. I'm thinking we're probably going to add a little bit more to some of the fights that we didn't really get to see a lot of. We'll probably actually see Rose fight Nanana a little bit. I hope. I would like to see at least a little bit of that. Maybe a bit more of Shinsui's fight with Robert, especially since we never actually found out what the fuck Robert's Shrift was. We never found out what it was. Same with BG9. Hopefully we get to see more of their fight with Soifon. Some more of, oh no, how am I forgetting his name? Komamura. You would not believe how long I had to fucking search around on Google to find his name. It's even no one's remembered Komamura. I remember Komamura, even if I don't remember his name. His fight with Bambietta, a little bit more of that. Toshiro fighting Kangdu, you know, that kind of stuff. Pad it out a little bit, so that we do a little more building up to Yamamoto's fight, you know? Oh, and of course, you know, I mean, it already looks like we're getting a bit more added to the Asnot fight. That's one of the main events, so I'm not really super worried about content being added for that. It's more so the other stuff that got kind of off-screened that I'm really looking forward to seeing. But yeah, once again, very satisfied with the way the anime is going thus far. The added content is giving me quite a bit of hope that we're going to be fixing most of the plot problems that Thousand Year Blood War had when it came out in the manga. And the stuff that they are cutting, I'm really not all that worried about. I'm not too concerned about it. Kubo seems to have fairly good degree of oversight, so I'm not worried about them getting rid of anything that's too terribly important. And even if they do get rid of some scene, some singular scene that you really like, well, you can always just go read it again in the manga. So, it's not the worst thing ever. But with that, that's all for this week's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. If you guys want to check out some of our group reactions to the new episodes, I'm putting them up on my Patreon. I've got them in the $5 tier, so that'll be linked down in the description if you're interested in that. And if you enjoy discussing Bleach with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to that down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care.